Chris didn't want his career test to define him, but in the process of trying to prove it wrong, it may have opened up new opportunities for him to think about. The episode started off with everyone in Chris's class getting the results of their career test. And Chris didn't like how his turned out. For everyone else, one of them mentioned that they were going to be a tap dancer. This one will pop back up later in the episode. Greg is supposed to be an army private, and Caruso is going to be an entrepreneur. He already over there letting people rent out VHS tapes, and even the teacher tried to rent one. Bruh, he need to start saving that money or put it into something else. Over at Rochelle's job, she's still trying to get laid off. She got tired of being around her coworkers and she went to go shred some papers. While she was doing that, she found out that some of her coworkers who are white are getting paid more than her. Later on, she does run into a group of people who are on strike, which gives her an idea. So you already know she about to get that severance pay in this episode. Now everyone's home and Chris and Rochelle see some self-help commercial and they try to ask Julius for some money to buy the tape. But he said no, smart move. That's food money right there. Julius' father's birthday is coming up and he had bought him a VCR, or so he thought. Just then, his brother Louis showed up and he was telling him that he got a second job. I think Julius was way ahead of him when it comes to that. He's a third string chiropractor for the New York Jets. Louis had saw the VCR and he told Julius he bought their dad an entertainment system which included a VCR. Julius had to play it off now. He said he didn't buy that VCR for their dad, he bought it for his children. Drew tried to say something, but Chris told him, hold on, wait a minute now, let things play out. Tanya brought up how she was going to record musicals. Chris wasn't going for that. He doesn't think that people could break into singing. And Tanya basically let him know it's another way for characters to express their emotions when words aren't enough. That's another thing that will pop up later. Moving along, Chris is at school and he was trying to get Greg to rent that self-help tape that he saw on TV from Caruso. He didn't have it and Greg instead got an adult tape. It wasn't even his money to use, it was Chris's. So then Caruso showed up and he let them know if they don't return that tape in 12 hours, he gonna give them the beats. Well, mostly Chris, because we know Greg gonna run. Both of them are at Chris's house about to watch the tape. Tanya shows up wanting to record a show, and to be honest, he should have took the tape and ran. All she would have said was Chris took a tape and ran, and also that's wild. Back in the day were the times where you could record a show on a tape. Now you can use a DVR, get the DVD, purchase the digital version, or use a streaming service to watch shows. Since that tape is ruined, there's only one person that they could go to about getting a new tape, so Chris and Greg went to Risky. He didn't have it, but he told them where they could find it, and just before Chris was about to leave, he saw his dad, but Julius didn't run into them. Julius went to Risky because he was trying to get a gift that would outdo Lewis's, but he didn't have anything. But when Doc made a bet on the New York Giants, that gave Julius an idea, so he gotta go talk to his brother now. While he's doing that, Rochelle is getting everyone hyped up at her job to go on strike. It's funny how one of them said he wants to make more than $25 an hour. She was basically like, right, he deserves to make twice as much as she does. She went on to tell them that they all deserve more than what the company is giving them, and they all agreed. Meanwhile, Julius is having a talk with his brother and he hears about how one of the players may not be starting if Lewis can't fix him. Lewis wondered if he could fix him and Julius told him that he can. Then when you hear Chris' narration, he said he wanted to bet on his brother, but he knows his brother isn't a real doctor. To be fair, even though his brother has his moments, he should have bet on Lewis because he was able to fix him. Which means he lost, and Lewis overheard Julius talking to Risky about how he bet against him. Julius let him know the only reason he did it was because he wanted to get their father a gift that could compete with his. And that's when Lewis got an attitude. He told him good luck trying to get a better gift than his. Julius said everything always came easy for Lewis and he had to work hard for everything, but that's no excuse and he apologized. I thought his brother was gonna finally understand, but he said he's sorry that Julius is such a loser and he can't afford to go to their dad's birthday. Then he said he'll call him from his car phone and tell him about it. I get it, Julius was wrong for betting against his brother. He should have believed in him and in a way respect what his brother does. But that doesn't give Lewis the right to be rude to Julius and talk down to him because he doesn't have as much money as him. Julius works hard for what he has and he has a family to take care of, and Lewis, from what it seems, he's single. He doesn't have a family of his own to take care of. Lewis mentioned earlier about how hard it was for him to work two jobs. Well, Julius has been doing that for years. His brother may not be as rich as him, but he should respect what his big brother does because he most likely wouldn't be able to handle the jobs Julius does. Back to Chris, him and Greg made it to Times Square. The video store is right there. They just got to get past some obstacles. Greg wanted to give up, but Chris is no quitter. Remember when Tanya said people break into singing to express their emotions? That's exactly what Chris did. It was happening while he was making his way to the store. It was pretty good how they put that moment together. They finally got to the store, they found the tape, but they didn't have the money. So all the extra stuff that we saw, which was actually just them walking, they got robbed on the way there without even knowing it. Risky was also there, but he hurried up and took off running. Time is up and Chris and Greg gotta go meet up with Caruso. They let him know they don't have the tape, but Greg had grabbed a tape that Risky dropped when he was running. Caruso decided to take that one, but he still was gonna beat them up. Greg told him could he beat up Chris cause he didn't want to miss boot camp. And as soon as he walked off, remember that guy that said his career test mentioned that he was gonna be a tap dancer? He accidentally tap danced on Greg's foot. That's exactly what he gets for leaving his friend to get beat up for a tape that he wasn't even trying to buy in the first place. Now Rochelle, she's outside with her co-workers on strike trying to get the stuff that they want. Even her children showed up, Drew and Tanya. Then her boss told her that they would like to talk. Rochelle is finally about to get what she wanted, that severance pay. And after everything that led up to this moment, do you think she took that money? She went back outside and she told them that they tried to offer her severance pay for 2 months and health care for her family. She turned it down. Then they tried to give her 3 months. She turned it down again. It seems like she's sticking to it, right? And then they offered her 6 months severance pay. She took that money and that health care. Y'all know she was going to take that deal. This is what she's been waiting for this whole time. And plus, she told them that she has a family. She told them to keep on fighting, and Tanya took over as the leader. I don't think that's gonna go well. Even though it was for the money, at least Rochelle stuck to a job for more than a day or two. But man, was she dedicated to getting that severance pay. If she applied that to a job she likes, they would really be making some money. Now everyone's home watching TV, and Rochelle could tell something is wrong with Julius. He told her he was wondering, since he is the big brother, why is Lewis making it seem like he's small, throwing stuff in his face, making him seem poor? He said his brother was right because he gambled their gas money away. He just wanted to get his father a better present, and now they can't get to South Carolina. But Rochelle, she's going to be there for the family. She showed him that money she got, and she told him they're going to South Carolina. And they're going to get a better gift than his brother. These are the moments in the show I like to see. It was great Rochelle was there for Julius to help him out. He is always working hard, and now she has the opportunity to do something for him. I wonder if we will get to see that birthday party next season. In the other room, someone was knocking at the door. It was Tasha, and she heard that Chris got a VCR. I wonder who was talking about it. Probably Tanya. She asked Chris if he could record Saturday Night Live, and Chris was trying to be smooth by saying maybe they could watch it together sometime, and she said they could. Chris had noticed that he hadn't made a girl laugh like Tasha was. It made him feel happy, and he thought maybe there were other options for his future that the career test hadn't considered. I guess this was the moment that he realized what else he wanted to do, which we all know what his career will be. During that nice moment, trouble was about to pop up. That tape Chris put in the VCR earlier started playing. I guess the whole thing didn't get recorded over. And y'all already know Chris's name was being called and he's about to get in trouble. And that's where the episode ended. I knew something was going to pop up. He was having a good moment. Overall, I thought the season finale was good. Chris in the end not letting the career test determine what he was going to be. Sure, those tests may possibly be helpful, but it's not the final decision on what you get to do for your career. Julius may have been wrong at first, and he did apologize, and in the end, things did work out for him. Also, I like how Rochelle was there for him, being helpful. And speaking of Rochelle, she finally got that money she's been waiting for. She was too dedicated not to get it. As for the whole season, I will say I like the family dynamics in the show. Julius and Rochelle are there for not only each other, but their children as well. Whether it's them helping out behind the scenes or giving advice. Drew being there for Chris, letting him know that his friend is being selfish, and Tanya's just gonna be Tanya. I like how they expanded on some stuff with the characters in the series, like how Uncle Mike became who he is now. Caruso having a sister who we may possibly see again if the series gets another season. And seeing how Julius and Lewis are as brothers. If I remember correctly, Wayne Brady played Lewis in the original version of the show. I think in the last episode they were in, I thought they were sorta cool. There was still some drama, but I thought they left things on good terms. One of the main things I liked about the family moments was when Chris told them what he was going through in the first episode and they listened, and they were able to solve the problem. The things I didn't like was at times how Greg and Tanya were. Greg, for some reason in this version of the show, seemed a little more selfish. It's been a minute since I watched the original version of the show, so he may have had some moments here and there. But him leaving Chris when he's about to get beat up, that's on brand. That's him. We know that that's going to be Greg. And for Tanya, I'm not too mad at her character because she is supposed to be that annoying little sister. But it is wild when she blames Chris for every single thing and he gets in trouble. Like he can't even get a break. But I'm interested to hear y'all thoughts. Comment below. What did you all think about the season finale and the overall season?